Stories 1. Locked down in the basement. I'm 22, fresh out of college, and I recently landed a job at my old high school. It wasn't exactly glamorous. I was a computer intern, stuck in the school's basement, a dimly lit, chaotic space overflowing with discarded equipment and forgotten projects. But amidst the mess, there was a small, surprisingly modern office. 3 spacious desks, a couple of mini fridges, a wall-mounted flat screen, and, blissfully, powerful air conditioning. A luxury the sweltering classrooms above lacked. This cool haven also housed the school's servers and other computer-related gear. I owed the job to my former computer teachers. 3 of them had taken a real shine to me, more like mentors than instructors, and they pulled strings to get me this position. It was a perfect setup, or so I thought. The first few weeks were uneventful. I settled into a routine, mostly managing the school's network and troubleshooting minor tech issues. Dave and Gary, my older co-workers, were friendly enough, and the basement office, despite its surroundings, felt like my own little domain. Then, one afternoon, everything changed. My co-workers were upstairs, leaving me alone in the basement, enjoying my lunch break. A jarring phone call from the front office shattered the quiet. The school was on lockdown. Someone, possibly armed, had entered the building. My heart pounded. The basement office, for all its amenities, had a glaring flaw. No door, just a wide opening, and the door to the basement itself had a broken lock. I plunged the office into darkness, hoping to remain unseen, and frantically texted Dave and Gary, but received no reply. Minutes stretched into an eternity. I tried to distract myself with games on my phone, the silence of the basement amplifying the fear gnawing at me. Then, the basement door creaked open, the sound echoing ominously. My blood ran cold. I froze, clutching my phone, debating whether to call out to my co-workers, yearning for any sign that I wasn't alone. Heavy footsteps pounded down the stairs, heading straight for the office. Panic seized me. I scrambled under my desk, my heart hammering against my ribs. Someone entered the office, the darkness complete. A terrifying silence hung in the air, broken only by my ragged breaths. Then, my phone dinged. A text message. It felt like my final moment. Footsteps approached, closer and closer. I couldn't bear the suspense anymore. I dove out from under the desk, surrendering, ready to plead for my life. A hand grabbed my arm, pulling me up. A man, dressed in a red plaid shirt, jeans, and a reddish-black cap, stood before me. "It's okay," he whispered. "I'm just hiding down here with you." Relief washed over me, quickly replaced by confusion. "What's going on up there?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. He brushed off my question, asking about an exit. I pointed him in the right direction. Then, a flicker of doubt rising within me, I asked, "Who are you?" He claimed he was picking up his son when a teacher told him to hide. Just then, I noticed the text on my phone from Dave. "Dude, this is crazy. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." I looked at the man, the pieces clicking into place. Red shirt, reddish black hat. It was him. My stomach lurched. He must have seen the horror in my eyes. I bolted for the stairs, a gunshot exploding behind me, the bullet ricocheting off metal in the dark. I flew up the steps, adrenaline coursing through me. Police were waiting, apprehending the man as he emerged from the basement. Mr. Buckley, thankfully, survived. The motive remained a mystery, a chilling reminder of the random acts of violence that can shatter ordinary lives. And the sound of that gunshot, The echo of fear still reverberates within me to this day. Stories 2. School lockdown. Terror. This is something you guys have been requesting for a long time. Stories about school lockdowns. It took some time, but I've finally found 3 for you. It was a Friday, 7th period calculus. Everyone was restless. Spring break was just around the corner. We weren't having a test like some of my friends in other classes. So our teacher, who was pretty chill, decided to have us play games on sporcle.com. We were in the middle of a brand logo quiz. I remember it was Adidas, when suddenly the dean's voice boomed through the loudspeaker. He sounded terrified, yelling that this was not a drill, and we needed to go into immediate lockdown. A wave of cold fear washed over me. Goosebumps erupted on my arms. Even our usually relaxed teacher looked panicked. He scrambled to turn off the lights and ushered us into the back corner of the room. We huddled there, silent, for what felt like an eternity. Then, the low hum from the electrical panel in the back of the room died. The power was out. We exchanged worried glances. This was serious. Minutes ticked by, agonizingly slow. Then, we heard it. A man's enraged screams echoing down the hall, getting closer. 2 girls in my class began to sob, their fear amplifying our own. The screaming grew louder, closer. Then came the banging, the man slamming against the lockers in the hallway. His voice, raw with rage, shrieked, "I'll kill all of you." Terror gripped me. I was certain I was going to die. Our teacher frantically shushed us, but it was no use. The banging moved from the lockers to our classroom door. Bam, 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 one of the crying girls let out a blood-curdling scream. No. The banging intensified, the man now yelling, "Open up." The other girls joined in, their cries escalating into hysterical wails. He pounded on the door, each blow sending jolts of fear through us. Time seemed to stretch, each second a lifetime. Finally, the banging stopped. The screaming receded down the hallway, growing fainter until it disappeared completely. We were left in the dark, shaking with fear, the silence punctuated only by the girls' quiet sobs. About 10 minutes later, though it felt like hours in that tense darkness, the dean's voice came back over the loudspeaker, shaky but calmer. He explained that a mentally unstable individual had entered the building, assaulted the woman at the front desk. She'd fled screaming, and then ran rampant through the school. They didn't know if he was armed. This was before our school had security cameras, or even decent locks. It was essentially wide open. The staff had searched everywhere, but couldn't find him. The dean instructed teachers to resume classes, but to keep all doors locked and not let anyone leave. Later that night, we heard the most chilling part of the story. A janitor working the night shift found the man asleep in a storage closet near the back of the school, and sticking out of his pocket, according to the rumors swirling amongst the students, was a .4 for Magnum. Apparently, the janitor must have startled him awake somehow, maybe left the closet door ajar, because by the time the police arrived, the man was gone. To this day, nobody I know has any idea what happened to that man. Was he ever caught? Did he get the help he so clearly needed? I hope so. I truly hope so.